This is Independent Channel. We'll talk about IOK, Indian Occupied Kashmir, where there are 1 million Indian troops are stationed for Kashmiris. There are 10 million Kashmiris living in occupied Kashmir, and for them there are 1 million army troops of Indian army troops are stationed there from a very long time. And this is not according to United Nations Security Council resolution. This is against the resolution of United Council of 47 resolution. The thing is, why India has stationed troops in a large number, 1 million troops in Indian occupied Kashmir. The reason is because of injustice with the Kashmiris. Kashmiris from the 1947-48, they are fighting against the Indian occupation of in Kashmir. The Kashmiris, they want independence from India, but the Indians are there. At first, Indians made dialogues with the Kashmiris, and there was Article 370. Still, it's there, but the Indian Parliament in the Modi regime, they have changed the article. Now Kashmiris are just living in a prison. This is a human prison for the Kashmiris because they don't have their parliament, they don't have their rights, human rights are not there, women are being kidnapped, youth is being killed, the children are kidnapped, and Kashmiris are living in a very miserable condition in India. But the Indian propaganda machinery is very strong, and they are saying that in Pakistan the Kashmiris are not. In Pakistan, the Kashmiris are all Muslim, and they are living in peace. They don't have any objection because always there are elections. They have their own ministers. They have their own president. They have their own constitution. They are living independently. But in India, the army, 1 million Indian army is stationed in Kashmir, and there is a media blackout. Nobody can say anything. If someone tries to say there is no internet, nobody is allowed to talk to them. Even United Nations peacekeeping forces, they are there, but they can't move. There are restrictions for United Nations peacekeeping forces, so they cannot move in the Indian occupied Kashmir freely. So how they can pass the information? How they can pass the correct information without moving and without meeting the people? They cannot meet the people. Even India is trying to remove United Nations peacekeeping forces from the Indian occupied Kashmir, but it's not easy. United Nations will, inshallah, United Nations will not accept the Indian plea that the United Nations peacekeeping forces should go away from there because there are 1 million troops. Why the 1 million troops are there in Kashmir? Why? What for? Is there any reason? The only reason is that the Kashmiris want independence from the Indian government, from the India. Why? Because they are living in a prison from a very very long time. It is almost 3.5 years. No media is there. They are not allowed. Foreign people, foreign journalists are not allowed to move freely in Kashmir and to talk to the people and get the proper news. So human rights are violated in Kashmir. The Kashmiri woman is suffering, the children are suffering, and youth is being killed, and thousands of Kashmiris are imprisoned. They are living in prison in a very, very dangerous condition. They are not getting proper food, they are not getting medicine, they are not getting anything. It is all inhuman. This Indian government, the Modi regime, is doing inhuman practices with the Kashmiris, and Kashmiri, they want independence from India, fighting from a very long time. One at least 100,000 Kashmiris have been killed from 1948 till now, and they are still fighting. They are resisting. They are resisting this very strong resistance against the Indian army and Indian government. But Indian government has changed the Article 370 and eliminated Article 32A, and because this is against the human rights, against 10 million people, and nobody is speaking for that. This is not good. This injustice will result One day this injustice with the Kashmiris will result in a disaster for India. It's because Indians are not doing justice with the Muslims. Even in India, they are suffering. Sikhs are suffering. Christians also, they have burnt so many churches. Hindus have burnt churches. They have demolished mosques, and they have killed so many. They come in group of 50 and they kill one Muslim or one Christian, and the minorities of Dalits, even the Dalits are being beaten and they are killed. The Dalits are not in minority. They are Hindu, and but they are not given the proper position in the government or in the services, and they are just living in a miserable condition. The Dalits and Muslims and Christians, they are living in a miserable condition. So United Nations must take an action. United Nations Security Council must go into the situation, and they must ask India to allow United Nations peacekeeping forces. UNSC must ask the United peacekeeping forces to go inside and meet the people and give the proper information how the people are suffering, so the suffering will stop. The suffering can only be stopped when international community will do its proper work, when they will ask the Indian government to stop the violence in Kashmir, occupied Kashmir. The Kashmiris are suffering. Thank you very much for today.